Back with another workout today. Got some push day, got chest, triceps, and shoulders. Uh, Last workout was leg day. My second day in my workout plan is chest, just because chest is another weak area for me. So I like to prioritize legs. I go in order of what I'm prioritizing. So legs first, then chest, and then we'll go to pull day, which will be back. So I'm gonna go through this. Chest workout, this push day workout, focusing mainly on chest. Gonna start out with like some dumbbells, move to some flies, get some barbell bench press in, and yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. And I got my cardio after this, so today I made sure that I ate enough so I won't have to skip cardio this time. I still went back to do it that night for my leg day, but yeah, today I'm gonna hit cardio after this. I also got abs again today. I like to hit abs like pretty much every other day. I rotate with abs and calves, or like if it's a rest day the day before, then I'll just double up and hit them on the same day. But yeah, let's get into this push day workout. Let's start out with a little warm up. I'm gonna start out with dumbbell flies first, just to really get my chest. I like to start out with a fly movement just because I have problems feeling my chest sometimes on certain workouts, especially like if I'm doing more pressing movements. I struggle like really feeling my chest. That's why I have a big like front delt, but my chest is more lacking. So yeah, I'm gonna start out with some flies first, and then after flies, I'm gonna go into my pressing movements after that. Yeah, I'm focusing more on the stretch on this, especially on dumbbell flies, just because the resistance, the more you go down, just gravity, you get more resistance. Whereas like the closer you come up, the resistance basically lessens. So I'm focusing more on getting a deep stretch, and then coming up. I'm not going to come up all the way. I'm just going to come up about like 3/4 of the way, and then I'm going to go right back down. Focus on that stretch. It's not a cardio. How'd you get I like to go pretty light on these too. I used to go super heavy on these, but I would never really like feel it. If you go lighter and like focus on the stretch more, you'll feel it a lot more. They're just going super heavy and just going through the motion. That's the last warm up. Next set will be top set. And then I'm gonna do 2 sets on this. Pretty much my rule of thumb is, I like to either do 2 to 3 sets on an exercise. So do two sets on it and then go to failure, go to the next exercise. If I want to add more volume, I'll normally just throw in another exercise that's like similar but different. So instead of me doing 4 sets on this, I'm gonna do 2 sets for this dumbbell, and then later on in the workout, I'm gonna do 2 sets on cable flies. Just kind of a different stimulus. The resistance curve is a little bit different. Not that when it comes to muscle building, not to say that that's going to help you like build more muscle or anything, but for me, it just helps me be able to like break up the monotony of like my training session. So that way I'm able to push hard for those 2 sets, and then I know whatever next workout I got 2 sets, to go to failure, and I'm not doing like 4 or 5 sets, because sometimes when you're doing 4 or 5 sets, it's hard to push for all of those sets. It's better to like break them up, choose different exercises, and do like a couple sets and then go to the next exercise, because it's a lot easier to push hard for 2 sets on an exercise than it is to push hard for 4 or 5 sets on an exercise. That was a good set. I got like 11 reps on that one, which was good. I was aiming for like 10 to 15, so that's good. That just means that I can stay with that weight the next time and try to progress the amount of reps I'm doing. All right. Back off set right here. Pretty good set. So yeah, 2 sets and I'm done. On to the next one. So now I'm just gonna go a dumbbell press. The only bad thing about this gym is the dumbbells only go up to 75, but it's good because I can focus a little bit more on form. Like I said, chest is a weak area for me, and there's been a lot of times where I've just, pressed the like 150s and everything, but just more so at that point, just using raw strength. I'm not really focusing on the muscle. So now I'm starting to focus more on the muscle, decreasing the weight, making sure that it's good, clean reps. I'm getting a great stretch on the muscle and I'm actually able to feel it rather than just pushing heavy weight for the sake of heavy weight. You're gonna hear me preach that a lot on this channel just because it's the truth. Like I've seen way more growth from being able to, use less weight and still be able to like see growth, to see progress. Here. I hit a couple warm-ups. I may just need one warm-up because I'm already pretty warm right now. Yeah, I feel pretty good, so I'm gonna go straight into my top set. My chest feels super warm already from the flies, and I feel a good pump in it, so I'm gonna be able to like connect a lot more with it when it comes to these flies, or when it comes to these presses. Top set, here we go. Yeah, see, I felt that completely in my chest. Doing those flies for sure help, like, especially if you have a hard time connecting with your chest on press movement, for sure, like, do flies before so you can get better activation when it comes to your chest, if that's a weak area for you. All right, since this is like lighter, I'm going to keep this weight the same for the next one. But even though it is lighter, I still only got like maybe 13 reps. So it's way different when you focus on form more and actually just trying to hit the intended muscle rather than just lifting heavy weight and pressing for the sake of lifting heavy weight. Go. Another tip that helps whenever, especially when you're chest pressing, is on the eccentric part of the movement. If you focus on you're doing like a row, it'll help you get deeper in that movement. So instead of just like trying to just letting the weight come down, actively like try to roll it back while controlling the weight. It'll help you get a way better stretch in your chest than if you just let the weight come down. And you feel it a lot more too. But that was it, 2 sets. On to the next one. We're gonna go to some barbell incline. You're fine. No, you're fine. Yeah. No, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, we're gonna go to barbell incline now. Also, pro tip: if you ever struggle with lining up the bar, if you put the bar down on the seat. Oh wait. Yeah, so if you put the bar on the seat and then you just adjust the bench to where it's even on both sides, it saves you a lot of time from trying to like adjust it to the bar and make sure you got the right positioning. Because then that way you know it's even on each side and you don't have to like try to guess each time. Yeah, see, that's perfect. The perfect width and also perfect spacing as far as on the bench as well. Again, I'm probably only gonna do like one warm up. So I'm already pretty warm from the previous 2 exercises. So I'll hit one warm up. And then it also goes off of how I feel too, because say if I hit this and then I'm just like, ooh, this feels really heavy, or I don't feel as warm as what I think I am, then I'll do more warm-up sets, but only like 1 to 4 reps max on my warm-up sets, just to get used to the weight, get used to the motion. But I have a feeling that I'm not going to need much on this because it's similar to the other pressing movement I was doing, just a little steeper incline. All right, here we go. Yeah, I feel nice. I'm gonna go straight into my top set. It's been a minute since I've done chest in here at this gym. I normally go to my other gym just because I like their chest equipment, but just because of time-wise today, and I was already training a client in here, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit chest in here as well. This is just to show that you can still get a great workout in with minimal equipment like this. There's not much equipment in here, and I'm still gonna get a great chest workout in. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go up a little bit more weight. That was a little light. I want my rep range to be like in between 8 and 12, so I feel like I would have been just a little bit outside of that. I would have been a little bit outside of that rep range if I kept the weight at what it was. So this way I'm still able to keep that 8 to 12 rep range, and I'll just do like a down set after this. But make sure I take plenty rest break. That way I'm able to get the most out of the set. Maybe scoot this seat back just a little bit. All right. Right at 8, so that was a good call to add those 5 pounds. So I probably would have been at like 11 or 12 if I didn't add that extra weight. So I'm gonna do a down set from here, taking off about 15 pounds on each side. So this will be my back off set, one back off set, and then gonna go to my other set of flies after this. And then that's it. Going to shoulders, and then triceps, and I'm done. All right, here we go. All right, that was a perfect set. 10 reps, that was the goal, at least. I mean, the goal is 10 to 15, so being on the bottom of the rep range just means I got more that I can work towards. That's it for pressing. Time to go to flies, and then that's it, done. Well, done with chest anyways. Okay, so pro tip, if you don't have like a pec deck or something like that, say you're working out at home or you're at a gym that doesn't have a pec deck machine, if you could set up a bench just with like a cable machine, it works better. Just because you have to think, if you're, instead of doing standing flies, so you're doing standing flies, you can only go as heavy as what your body can withstand with like your body weight, versus if you could set up a bench and do them seated, you have more stability and you're able to put more tension on your chest. So it's super easy to set up. Just get a bench. I put like a mat down and also a heavier dumbbell just to kind of hold the weight, or just so the bench doesn't scoop back as I'm pressing or flying. And then after that, it's just setting it to the right arm height for you. I also got questions about how do you determine the right arm height? You just go off of your structure. So if you put your arm straight to the side, and then grab the cable, that's essentially the same motion that you want when you're sitting down. So if you have the cable up here, it's not going to be as much tension as if you have it directly to your side, just from like a resistance standpoint. So that's for any machine. If you're thinking about a machine, you have to adjust the seat to where it lines up with the origin of the muscle that you're trying to work out. So if you have your hand up here and you're trying to work out chest, you're not going to stimulate your chest as much. You're more so going to be working the shoulder joint versus the actual muscle. So make sure when you put your arm straight out to the side, and then when you do a fly, your arm is going straight out and you're able to fly straight in. Another thing too is make sure you don't have the weight too heavy, because when it comes to a cable, the resistance curve, so like on the dumbbell, the reason why I like doing a dumbbell in a cable variation is because dumbbell, the resistance curve, it's heavier at the bottom, versus a cable, the resistance curve, it's heavier. You have more tension, even tension across the range of the movement. So I have as much tension back here as I do up here. So I can actually go a little bit heavier. All right, also, one thing I tell people all the time is it doesn't matter how much weight you're lifting if you're not actually hitting the target muscle. What I mean by that is, like, if you're trying to target your chest per se, and you're doing bench press and you're benching 500 pounds, but you have a small chest and you have bigger delts or bigger front delt, just because you can bench 500 pounds doesn't mean you're actually stimulating your chest if you're trying to look at it from like an optimal muscle building standpoint. So you want to choose exercises that stimulate that muscle. So rather than doing a barbell bench press, opt for like a dumbbell bench press, or a dumbbell or not a dumbbell, but a chest press conversion machine. So then that way you're able to make sure that you're hitting your chest better, you're using less weight, good form, you're locked in position so no other muscles are moving. Because the more external factors that you have, the more you're moving around, that's energy being diverted to like other places rather than like the target muscle that you're trying to work out if your goal is muscle building. Actually, I think I got these on 2 different heights, so let me adjust these. I think that's where it's supposed to be. Let me make sure. Yep. Okay. So this will actually be top set. And then we'll go back offset right after this. This may be too high. Yeah, it's a little too high. So I'm gonna bring it down about 1 more. All right. Also, if you set this up, the safe way to be able to grab the cables is you grab the first cable, pull it, you're gonna wrap it, keep it close to your body, and then grab the other cable. If you don't have somebody helping you or spotting you. On that, I'm gonna keep the weight the same. When it comes to muscle building, like the amount of weight that you can lift isn't necessarily the case. It's all about form and tension on the muscle, and then going as close to failure as you can go. So whether that's, all the way up till failure, or a couple reps shy of failure, as close to failure as you can get is going to have this is going to be the most optimal way to build muscle. So if you got like 6 reps in the tank and then you're stopping, that's not the optimal way to build muscle. You want to go as close to failure as you can get. Also, that's why with the warm-up sets, there's no point of doing like 10 to 20 reps because you're not actually stimulating muscle growth. The point of the warm-up set is to get ready for your actual sets to stimulate muscle growth. So it's just like, the practice before the game. You want to make sure that whatever exercise you're doing, say if it's flies and I'm doing a warm-up set, I'm only doing a few reps just to make sure that I'm getting used to the weight, getting used to the movement. I want my form being super perfect. So then when it comes to my top set, I'm able to hit my form perfect because that's how I did my warm-ups. And also I'm able to make sure that I'm applying maximum tension on the target muscle that I'm trying to hit. So same thing, grab one cable first. You can even pull it with 2 hands. You're gonna wrap it, hold on to it, grab the other cable. Make sure you keep this cable close to your body so it doesn't slip. And then ready to go. That was the last set for that one, so I'm gonna go to shoulders and then triceps, and that's it. All right, on the shoulders. This is probably one of my favorite shoulder movements. Now, I just recently started implementing this in. I just feel it so much more in my side delts. A lot of people think it's a back movement, but it's not. It's a side delt movement. You hit a little bit of rear delts too. I mean, your back is active during it, but you're gonna feel it way more in your side delts. This cable may be good right here. And it doesn't take much weight at all either. It's key to have something to counterbalance your weight, especially if you're setting this up with like a cable machine and a bench. This bench is like a heavy duty bench, so it doesn't have a lot of weight to it. So it needs something to like be able to counterbalance the force you're exerting on the weight, so it doesn't start moving the opposite way. Hit these shoulders. I figured out on my last video, sorry for the people that, when you watch the last video, my audio, because I was just using the actual mic itself. I didn't have like a lavalier mic, so every time like I would bend my head down or something, my chin would press up against the mic and it would like muffle it or just make it super loud for some reason. Or also because the the mic is like square, it would like flip inside my shirt, and then it would press against my skin and it would make the sound like super muffled. But as soon as it came undone, it would like make it super loud. So I'm using a lavalier mic now just so I don't have that problem. And I'm not blowing y'all's ears out when y'all are watching the videos back. So you're not having to like turn it up and trying to hear what I'm saying, and then 5 seconds later, the sound just spikes in volume by like 20 decibels and blowing your eardrums out. Yeah, see, this is one of my favorite movements when it comes to delts, just because just the resistance that it puts on your delts it's money. And then also it doesn't take much weight at all. You can do this standing as well. Like you don't have to have a setup. You don't have to set anything up like how I set this up, but it makes it better going back to standing flies versus seated flies. The more stability you can have, the better when it comes to muscle building. So that's why when it comes to building quads, a Smith machine squat is going to be way better than a regular barbell squat when it comes to focusing on quads, just because you're able to lock yourself in and get maximum knee bend and not have to worry about balance with the Smith machine. Versus the barbell squat, you have to worry about balance and then other muscles taking over. So the more stability that you can have, the better when it comes to muscle building. If you're just worried about strength, then that's a whole different topic. And then once again, go to failure. I don't take as long as a rest break on shoulders just because shoulders normally recover pretty fast. At least my shoulders do. Like I said, my delt already feels pretty pumped. Like, that's why I love this exercise so much, just because you feel it instantly. And it's just a different movement completely compared to like lateral raises. I love lateral raises too, but I feel like I feel this movement a lot more than my side delts than doing like a regular lateral raise. It's actually too light. I think I lightened it a little bit too much. This is gonna be my finishing move for my delts. So not really going to take much weight. Start out with 20. Actually 20 may be a little too heavy. Start out with 15. Yeah, this is good. If you use these as a burner, just make sure that whenever you're doing it, so same thing with dumbbells. When it comes to dumbbells lateral raises, you pretty much have no resistance here, and then as you bring it up, you only have resistance from about midpoint to anything above that. So I just work within the resistance curve, where the most tension is at for this exercise, which is midpoint to here. Because from here to here, like, you don't have much resistance when it comes to doing dumbbell lateral raises. Versus a cable, from here to here is where the most tension is at, depending where the cable height is at. But like, yeah, if you have the cable like thigh level and you're pulling, you're going to have the most tension here, and as you come up, it's going to lighten. Versus dumbbell, you have no tension down here, and then the tension starts about here, and it gets harder as you go up. So all right. See, it doesn't take much weight because that's only a 15-pound dumbbell. And I'm only able to get like 10, 11 reps. Shoulders. Let's go to triceps now. All right, so I know this entire workout I've been preaching like stability and having a seat or being stable during the exercises. But this is one of those exercises that I actually like standing up, just because you have to have a certain type of bench to be able to do this seated, and we don't have that here. You need like a bench that has a short back on it. That way the cable doesn't, you're not restricted with the cable. So if you have a short back bench, one that doesn't come up, that only goes like to your mid back, that'll be perfect for this exercise I'm about to do. But if you have one of the ones that go up to the head level, it's not gonna work as well. So it's better just to do it standing. All right, also another pro tip, when it comes to doing this exercise, don't have the cable stack all the way at the bottom, because if you do, you have to, it's harder to get the cables up above your head. Versus if you have it mid back, you can get it up above your head a lot easier. So picking the cable up from here is a lot easier than if I had it all the way at the bottom. And then also, it's a lot easier to go to failure when you have it like mid back area, because you don't have to worry about like having to drop the weight. Like if you run into an emergency or your muscles give out or whatever, you're able to just step back and then set the weight down. But when it comes to tricep, this is probably one of my favorite movements, just because it gets a real good stretch on the tricep. And then you also get a pretty good contraction on it too. If you turn your hands out slightly at the top of the movement. Between this and like a dumbbell seated, those two are the best for as far as getting a stretch on the tricep. It's good to have a mixture of both. Have an exercise for your tricep to where it works it in its lengthened phase, and then an exercise that works it in its shortened phase as well, like a push down or cable pull down, one of those options. All right, last set, triceps. Triceps and biceps, just because they're a smaller muscle group, they can recover pretty quick. So even like during the workout, I normally only rest like maybe a minute or so with those body parts. And also if you have weak triceps and biceps, they recover so quick, you can at least be able to hit your arms, 3, sometimes even 4 times a week if they're a weak body part for you. They recover pretty fast. And even for like clients that I have that have weak arms, I normally have them hit it like at least 3 times a week. And arms for some reason seem to respond better to more volume. So the more volume that you can do with your arms, the better. but just keep form in mind. Like make sure you're still doing good form, but going super heavy on arms isn't necessarily going to build them as like moderate weight, light to moderate weight, and then going all the way to a failure. All right. I'm gonna do a push down just to get the last little bit I can out of arms. Like I said, if I just had one movement to choose for triceps, it would be the overhead movement. You're gonna get more bang for your buck out of that exercise. Like if you're limited on time, or say you're just doing maintenance volume on arms. But if you're trying to grow arms, I would say at least, or especially triceps, I would say at least 2 movements, and one where you're stretching out the tricep, the other one where you're working more of the concentric phase. So that's another thing when it comes to tricep. Make sure you're actually squeezing the muscle. So on the concentric, when you're coming down, squeeze the tricep. And then when you're coming up, more of a slow eccentric phase. So it doesn't have to be like 10 seconds, but at least like 2 to 3, maybe 4 seconds eccentric. Stretch it out as much as it can, and then hard concentric to really get the most out of the cable push down. And also, if you're over the cable like this pushing down, you're not getting nothing out of the movement. You want to make sure the weight is light enough to where you can stand straight up. That way you can get maximum stretch on the tricep. Straight down, flex the tricep, and then back up. All right, one more set, and then a couple sets of abs. I got cardio, and then I'm done. And go home and eat, and finish the rest of my day. like I said, that's a minimal equipment. Like I'm in my apartment gym right now, so you don't need much equipment to get in an effective workout. Just make sure that you're focusing on form. Um, all you need is the basic exercises, and that's enough to get a great workout in. But that's it for push day. I'm gonna hit some abs. I'm just gonna cut the video right here just because it's already about to be long enough. Also, you notice the amount of weight that I used. It wasn't much. I didn't go crazy heavy. I mean, like I said, I'm in my apartment gym, so they don't have like a ton of weight. But when it comes to muscle building, you don't really need that. If you're trying to build strength, of course, like you're going to have to lift heavy to build strength. But to build muscle, you don't need crazy heavy weight. Just as long as you're able to go close to failure, do good form, put maximum tension on the muscle, and get a great stretch on the muscle. Those are really like the key points. And then eat, rest, recover, and repeat. You'll build great muscle that way, no matter if you're trying to tone up, whatever you're trying to do. Even if you're trying to lose fat. If you try to lose fat, you gotta build muscle in order for when you lose fat, you look toned. Because there's no such thing as toning a muscle. But yeah, that's it for today. Y'all let me know if there's any other videos y'all want to see. Thanks everybody for the support. Love the comments, all the love. But catch y'all in the next workout.